Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Lynn Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to our August energy hangout. I'm recording this on July 31st, and I thought we needed to dive in early to August. I've got the rose-colored glasses on. Maybe it's symbolic and metaphorical. But I have been having, well, before we do that, before I start going off on whatever, let's just do what we do best here. Wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul. Let's take a couple of deep breaths. Just get settled. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, activating the heart space up to the crown chakra. You can do that too, just activating the heart by tapping the heart and tapping the crown and taking a breath into the heart, seeing the heart expand and go up, up, up to the crown. Inviting in any guides who would like to join us here, any of my TLC for the soul guides. All right, let's get settled in. I'll just talk for a minute while you get settled in. I highly encourage you to invite in your guides to this episode. August is not for the faint of heart, and we need to look at it from a couple of different perspectives, okay? So it's not to frighten anybody about August, but August is going to be I'm not going to sugarcoat it, a big friggin' roller coaster ride. I know I need to stop saying that word, but it's like, I noticed on one show, I was like, oh, I said that word a lot. Seems like a lot of intensity. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. Where to start? Let me just let you get settled in and call in your own guides. I do have the rose-colored glasses on, not because I'm sugarcoating anything, right? I have been having like a lot of like eye pain, particularly on this side, and it's a combination of things. I think the smoke in the air isn't helping. Eye strain, and I do have a problem with like dry eyes, like at night. It's really, really bad, and so I working with that. But this right eye is also the right eye of Horus, which is in many places the evil, or the eye of protection, the eye of how to explain it. It's a symbol. It says it's a symbol of protection from evil, health, and safety. In some Middle Eastern homes, the eye of Horus is kept as a decorative item to ward off the evil eye. The right eye of Horus represents the sun. The eye of Horus is a symbol of, we know what that is. It comes from the god of Horus. So you can go deeper into that if you want, but it was kind of funny because the other day I was like, oh, my eyes, I can't take it anymore. It wasn't like a headache. It was just like a weird pain around my eye. And then I put these rose-colored glasses on, and I was like, oh, the tint is just so great. They are prescription, but it's like, it's I don't know. Anyway, something with vision, something about, yeah, it's a metaphor, what I'm talking about here, for how you choose to see the month of August. And so the guides have asked me to bring in the energies of the month of August in kind of two parts. They're calling August the month of Dharma and Karma. It's back again, but the Karma. But I think that's because we still have all those outer planets in retrograde, and the retrograde energies, the remembering, the reviewing and all of that is very, very strong right now. Like every day for the past 2 or 3 days with my son, we've had these conversations of, I'm like, I remember back in my day, it was those conversations, I remember when I had my, when I was 21 years old. It's like all reliving all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting and fun. And maybe it is like, how are people going to get to know you better if you don't share some of yourself with others, right? So like with my son, I brought out these stories. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so bizarre. Does he really need to have this information? But I mean, it was totally relatable. And I did kind of go back to this some times in the past where I'm like, okay, those were fun times. I don't tend to live in the past. I don't sit around and like do a lot of what if stuff, but I thought that was kind of it. I find that energy is very strong right now. All right, so what we're going to do then is we're going to do an intuitive reading out of Prayers of Honoring. This is a book, one of many, from another one of my soul sisters, Pixie Lighthorse. She used to do a lot of women's groups and women's circles. Yeah, it says Pixie has been building women's community since 2011 in honor of our collective desire for generative creative lives. She is an indigenous elder. She lives on a ranch in Central Oregon, and she has 2 kids. And right now, I think more than women's groups, she has a ranch where she raises grass-fed beef, and her kids and her family and friends process all of that themselves. And it's available if you live in the Oregon area. You can order, cuts of beef or whatever. So the cattle are all on her land. I've been on her land. I did a retreat on her land. It's very, very beautiful, very magical. It was really, really fun. Back in my day, I did that retreat. Right after I quit corporate in 2015, I went straight to her retreat in Oregon and it was almost a week long outside in teepee tents on the land. It was really crazy. It was very, very interesting, and there was a lot of very gifted healers, and I met a lot of fun people back then. Sanjay Buffalo too. I don't know how I met Sanjay, maybe through Pixie, and Sanjay had made me 2 or 3 drums. Sanjay is a very gifted and talented drum maker. She lives in Topanga Canyon, well, kind of a little bit further out in the mountains around Topanga Canyon in California. And we did like a rain dance together with me and Sanjay and a bunch of people on the beach in Malibu. All of those fun things. But as part of the gift of the retreat, when we had it was 2 people to a teepee tent, and I met the most amazing fun lady. I didn't want to be in a teepee tent with anybody else. I was like, I just want my own. And I'm sure she intuitively, Pixie's very intuitive healer too, and paired us up with people, and I got like the perfect lady to be in to be like a little tent mate or whatever. Oh man. And this book was on our pillows when we first got there on day 1, Prayers of Honoring. And Pixie has many little books like this and many amazing courses, online courses. I think they're still out there. I remember I purchased a whole bundle, and they're all based around like, delving into the shadows with Mountain Lion. They're all based on animals, spirit animals. But let's Spirit get on track for August, and let's go and see what's the prayer we want to kind of go, and what's our intuitive reading for August. What do people hear that are watching or listening at TLC for the Soul? What's those energies about? Honoring release. So this is they're long prayers. I may not read it all. Let's see what they want me to read. We're so grateful for this deeply precious life. Looking around, we see your love in all things. Allow us to feel more blessed than baffled. These are the dualities. More blessed than baffled, more clear than confused, and to let go of the ropes we've bound so tightly around our own fighting arms. Help us shed our armor and release the sticky mortar which binds us to our broken thinking. Melt our pitiful pasts away and off of us so that we are solid in the present and bright for the future. We're ready to allow your radiance to rub off on us. Hold us tenderly when fear arises in us, when the voices which plague take over. Let us look at our lineage and our patterns and cut the cords. Help us stand up to that which still hurts, with a power that only you can provide, which no human reasoning can eliminate long term. Help us to build the fires of purification up on the hillsides, stand the sticks up tall and straight, throw our excess within the mighty flames, and take our prayers for a new way up to the heavens. Remember that when we give our excess to you, it is composted into beautiful new life. Help us to remember that we contain the tenacity to overcome, as modeled so beautifully by the earth and her obvious evolutionary and cyclical processes. Teach us how to love the life-death life cycle and know that which harms us will fade into the ashes if we can bring ourselves to let go. What are we releasing? I think we're releasing, that's a very big page. Okay, prayers of honoring. And if you're interested in taking a look, her website is Pixie Light Horse, just like it sounds, L-I-G-H-T, horse, H-O-R-S-E, pixielighthorse.com. And I think I brought out Pixie. Well, I didn't purposely bring it out. I was like, what book wants to come out today? And the Prayers of Honoring was kind of sticking out from all the other books. And then I started putting on jewelry, and I brought up Sanjay. All of these women, and they don't have to be women, but they're right there, who's coming up right now. All these divine feminine are very big spiritual warriors, very, very strong women who've gone through a lot, and have still come up fighting, and I feel that warrior spirit coming up too. As I was putting on jewelry, I was just digging. I'm like, oh, the bear wants to come out. So the bear ring, we've got the Eye of Horus, and there's this duality energy coming up of like being a strong spiritual warrior. And at the same time, there's this other side of things. I think it really is a big divine feminine, divine masculine thing. Because I went to get our intuitive perfume. I'm like, what perfume's going to come out for the show today? And we got Dirty Naughty Hippie. Dirty Naughty Hippie from Athena at Sage Goddess is a perfume I still had a little bit left. And it's very much like, it's just super, like a bunch of different patchoulis. I mean, it does smell like, some sort of a Spencer's Gifts or some sort of a head shop from the 70s or whatever. I don't know. There's a place I know I used to go that used to have this smell. I think it's just a lot of patchouli, because I think those are the main notes. And probably the maybe intention. Let's get a bottle cap for this month of August. So let me think here. We've got the new moon coming up on the 4th. The new moon in Leo. We've got Lionsgate on the 8th, and we're already in that portal. The energy just keeps getting stronger and stronger until the 8th, and then it takes 3 or 4 days to kind of dissipate after that. And we've got Lunasa tomorrow, or depending on when you listen to this, on the 1st of August. Wow, there's a good breeze. The wind patterns keep changing. Now the wind's coming back from this direction again. And I noticed, I was like, wow, it's the 8th month. Oh, here I am. And the weather's already going to start shifting. So we get 6 months of winterish weather, and we get 6 months of all the other seasons, spring, summer, and autumn. So I noticed, I always look ahead in the forecast. My whole life is around like what the weather's doing outside, because I have to be out there so much. But I was like, this week, it seems like it's the last of our 80s. We've had a very mild summer, a couple of 90-degree days, 2 or 3 weeks of like these 80s, but even the 80s hasn't been too bad. With all the smoke, it's kind of filtered out the sun a little bit. And then I see next week, and starting Sunday in the forecast, we go to 70s, and I even see some 60s for highs. So we're already going to be true to what nature is doing here in the northern hemisphere, going into Lunas and Lammas with the very first like early fall notes showing up the weather here is already going to start to reflect that. So let's get a bottle cap. You're probably going to give me 2 bottle caps for August. What have I got? I've got a whole ton of these darn things. All right. What have we got for August? We have... Oh, I don't know what this is. It says BB. It's like to be on top of a B, and it says established in 1991, and there are arrows. They're going Widdershins. They're going counterclockwise. So the flow is going counterclockwise on these. We got a total of 5. We got Taste Matters. We get that a lot. Let's see. Corona Extra. So we said that last time we got this, it can be, you know, there's the crown chakra and trusting and all that. It could also have to do with like the sun is pretty much almost in the solar maximum where it's constantly kicking off, you know, solar flares and solar activity and all this. We got Don't Forget to Smile. There's not. And we got Thank a Friend. All right, let's see how those play into this Dharma Karma reading they want me to do. So the way they want me to go for it in August is we're going to pull a card for kind of what's happening in the 3D. They're saying that's kind of the karma side of things. And then what's happening in the 5D in relation to each other. And that's more the Dharma, the soul evolution, soul purpose, the higher consciousness teaching that has to do with that more 3D-ish type of card. So in order to do that, I've brought out the Vision Quest Tarot. That's an indigenous kind of native, deck. And my deck, Shaman's Drum, because I think they'll work well together. I also worked with quite a few indigenous elders in the ethers, in the higher realms, that have passed on to create this deck. So which one is which? Okay, so this one is going to be for the higher, the Dharma. And this one's going to be like the earth plane type of energies. So let me just move my bottle caps here. All right. I have my love cup, all these arrows. All right, this is a really good book. We'll probably be looking at it. All right, so how do we want to divide up August? Do we want to divide it up into weeks? First half. Okay, so let's listen. A first half and a second half. Well, that's not very far away. Hold on a second. Let me look at my calendar. Where's August? Okay, so they want me to do the first half being from whenever you listen to this for August up to the end of the Lion's Gate when the portal closes, which is on the August the 12th at the first quarter moon. And then they want me to do a pulling of energies for the second part of the month, because that's where that's where something all starts. I don't know. All right, let's just do this. All right, let's pull from Shaman's Drum. Okay, Spirit, what do you want us to know about the first week? I mean, the first part. Is it the first week or the first part? Okay, the first part of August. They're saying they're telling me you're very ungrounded right now. That's why you have a lot of patchouli on. Because we're getting a lot of there's a lot of cosmic light coming through, and it is being projected out through the eyes. So they're saying if I take my glasses off, because I noticed I haven't really been looking at the camera. I feel like as I've had these glasses on, I've been looking over here. But they're saying if I look at the camera, then through the right eye, through my right eye, is going to be some activation codes. I don't even have to get that close. But So the right eye is going to be, gosh, I feel like, what is that character? Is it an X-Men character with the glasses? That one where they can't have the glasses off because they just shoot out these. So anyway, let me just deliver these codes. It doesn't matter if you're listening or not listening. I do feel like the glasses are doing something here. So with the right eye is going to project some light codes out. Either you're looking at me or you're listening to me. Regardless, it doesn't matter. The right eye is doing whatever it needs to do right now to project these codes. What are these codes? They are enlightenment codes. There's a frequency running behind what's coming out through the right eye. And that frequency running is going to connect with your auric field. So you could just be in the energy of it. You don't have to be like looking into my right eye or going off of the podcast and getting on YouTube to see my eye or anything like that. The eye is just projecting these codes out. And what is that going to do? It's going to run like a frequency parameter in your auric field for some upgrades that are necessary for passing through the Lion's Gate. So your aura, your higher self, your motherboard and CPU, the pituitary, the thymus, all the endocrine system, it's going to know what to do with these codes. So we're saying this is just a different way of delivering something that's a light language, that's unspoken, but pretty much is doing something similar, not exactly similar. Something similar, but not exactly similar. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now they're saying put the glasses back on. So what was happening there, what I noticed is I kind of felt all of y'all around me, like y'all's energy, and I felt the light codes like zinging off of like pinging off of everybody, like ricocheting off each one of us. Kind of very interesting. Okay, now cards. Okay, so from now until the Lion's Gate. They're saying what that does too is it's grounding. All right, let's see. We've got one card. From now until the Lion's Gate, we got woman, sister, teacher, she who loves, and me. So you can relate to that. And I find that very interesting because I was talking in the beginning about all my teachers. The majority have been divine feminine. Athena and Pixie and Sanjay and who knows who else. Many others, I'm sure. So we got divine feminine energy coming out. I always loved that braid. And I find it interesting that I chose to just show the braid in the card. And it's a red braid. It reminds me of Bridget. I have very strong ties to Bridget, like the goddess Bridget. All right, so there's a lot of, so that's the 3D. Okay, wait, so this was coming out for the 3D. This is from now into the Lion's Gate, divine feminine energy, or the women around you. So pay attention to any souls in the physical form of a woman around you right now, between now and the Lion's Gate, because they have something to show you, something to teach you, something to share that could be of importance. So don't dismiss that. Yeah, I get that a lot too. I think like for my son, sometimes I'll be like wanting to share something and he'll just cut me off like, I already know, I know all that. And I'm like, hold on a second. You don't know what I'm going to share with you. I know you don't know it. So just chill out. Let me say what I need to say. So there may be some of that coming, not in like a snarky way, but there may be some, you may think, or somebody around you may think like, oh, I know everything about what you're talking about. And maybe it's a younger person who has something. It doesn't always have to be an older person. Maybe it's a younger divine feminine person or female form who has something to share. All right, so that's in the 3D. So how is that important in the, what's the higher level teaching of that? What are they sharing? Why is this important? Just going to the Vision Quest Tarot. Oh my gosh. Card number 3, Grandmother. It's a grandmother holding a little baby, and they have a huge turtle behind them. All right, why is that important? So I do like, where'd my book go? Card number 3, is that the Empress, I think? I think it's the Empress. But I do like that this Empress is a grandmother. Yeah, it's the Empress. Creativity, caring, productivity, the power of mature feminine wisdom, heartfelt empathy, compassion, love, protection, and understanding. The inner message. So we'll look at the inner message, because for this book or this deck, there's an inner message and an outward manifestation. And because we said this deck is for the higher learning, we'll look at the inner message. It says, true compassion is a gift from the divine. Whoever is graced by it is released from suffering. The heart can't help but open itself to compassion's touch and reflect love back in gratitude. This power exists within you as well. Let it reveal itself. The time of the woman is now. And so it is time to lavish all the respect and love you've got on your own female aspect, your inner soul force. Who will embrace you if you refuse to? Who will accept you unconditionally if you don't? Turn toward your feminine forces, whether you're a man or a woman. Turn to cherish the female energies inside. So that's coming up for the Lion's Gate. So if there's no divine feminine presence around you, and even if there is, look within as well. And look towards those energies. Okay, so we have one more card between now and the Lion's Gate, Shaman's Drum. They're saying that our main focus is going to be after the Lion's Gate, but let's keep going. Oh, that's 2 cards, Spirit. All right, what else between now and the Lion's Gate? What came out together was truth. When you are true to your heart, then no one can sway you. And it came out with Indian blanket. Let the beauty of the natural world delight you. If you are on the podcast, you may want to jump over to YouTube, because Shaman's Drum is a very beautiful deck. So is this Vision Quest. But I remember when I made Shaman's Drum, I was just like, oh, the colors of this deck. It's so earthy and so earth magic-y. When you are true to your heart, then no one can sway you. Indian blanket, let the beauty of the natural world delight you. So because they came out together, let's see. I mean, these are pretty self-explanatory. Being true to your heart. Let's see what the higher level teaching is about this. Two cards came out with this. Oh, interesting. Because Indian blanket was upside down. Okay, so for the truth, when you are true to your heart, then no one can sway you. We got the Six of Air, clarity. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll take a look at the other pair, which is Indian blanket, and another card that came out in the same upside down position. Six of Air. So why do we need to talk about this truth? Six of Air, clarity. There's a dream catcher on here. Intelligence, insight, creative vision. The inner message is the more you know yourself, the clearer your insights into your relationships become. The more attention you pay to your own inner truth, the more loving your communication with others will be. Once you have stopped struggling with yourself, harmony and wisdom prevail. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. And then with Indian blanket, let the beauty of the natural world delight you. We got the Seven of Cups, or Seven of Water in this deck, with excess. So let's see what's going on there. And then I'm not just going to read them. I'm going to sit after that in a second and see if there's any other messages. The Six of Water, pleasure, positive development, well-being, contentment and happiness, fun, success and love, inner relaxation, and natural harmony. It says, I don't know, does it help to hold them up together? Doesn't really matter, I don't think. Now you can relax. Let go of those mental and emotional tensions. Your life force is flowing calmly and sweetly, nourishing your whole system, helping you regain your inner equilibrium quite easily. Allow yourself to enjoy life a whole lot more and on all levels. Okay, so let's set the book aside for a minute and see what else we want to share. From now into the Lion's Gate, Divine Feminine, Divine Feminine Rising, Clarity. Did I just read? Wait a minute, hold on. 7 of Water. You know what? I read the 6 of Water. So what is the 7 of Water? Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so the 7 of Water is the actual card. I read from the 6 of Water, but the 7 of Water was this card signifies neglect of oneself and one's resources. Something is zapping your vital energy. To let yourself go down the drain is not the answer here. Further neglect won't accomplish anything. Beating up on yourself emotionally won't help either. Carefully observe how you treat yourself. Then your course will become abundantly clear. Yeah, so I think if you're feeling any sort of that, then you need to get outside to come to a place of where we were reading about this 6 of Water. Okay. Anything else? Okay, they're complete on that. They really want to focus on after Lion's Gate. I think the next thing is a full moon. The full moon is, no, it's not the buck moon. The full moon is a sturgeon moon on the 19th. We're in the middle of Mercury retrograde at this point. So we're going to be reading from the 12th to August 30th. And in that time period, we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde. We have the full Sturgis moon on the 19th. But there is a lot of stuff going on in the astrology, like there isn't always, right? But there's a lot in retrograde, not just Mercury. But there's some T-squares and all these things going on that... Let me just see what they want me to talk about with this. Let me just listen. So August, post Lionsgate, they're saying, get ready now. All the things they've shared with you about the from now to the Lionsgate are things that you can do to prepare for the energies that are going to be coming up towards the middle, from the middle-ish to the end of the month of August. And the primary ones are this Dharma and Karma. Okay, so going, let's pull a card. All right, so post Lionsgate, August. What do we want people to know? Canoe. New adventures await you, and you are ready for you to take charge of them. This is in the 3D world, new adventures. And in the 5D, like, what are we talking about? What does that have to do with Dharma and Karma? This one? Son of Water. I think that's the Knight of Cups. Let's take a look at that. I like how the colors are very complementary. These two decks, they work well together. Son of Water. The force of erotic attraction is one of the most mysterious and creative. Now you must learn to handle its irresistible but unpredictable power as consciously as possible. We are not its master. It courses through us, wanting us to be used appropriately. Become aware of your impact on others and what you do with it. Respect people's vulnerability and stay within the boundaries dictated by loving consideration. Otherwise, your charms will drive many more to out to distraction. So I feel like you're very magnetic at this time. And because of, here's the Dharma and Karma. Because of your good karma, because remember we spent a lot of July talking about karma. I don't want to go back there again. Everybody here right now has got a relatively high amount of positive karma. They're saying it doesn't mean that you still are not working on releasing karmic debt. Some of us have done more than others, they're saying, but everybody here has got relatively good karma, which is what is going to cushion you from the energies of this mid to end of August time period. Because a lot of these, that's why yesterday the astrology came up for the middle of August, and it was like madness and mayhem or whatever it was saying. And I told Spirit, I wanted to know, because I'm like, if I have to listen to this, I will. I was like, do I have messages in this reading? They were like, no. And I've received, I think, 3 repetitive, when I get things coming in threes, I pay special attention, but 3 repetitive messages so far from different sources saying that because of your good karma, your karma, that a lot of what's happening to shake up the realities of others who may be less fortunate, meaning maybe their karma is not so good, or their life path involves this. It's a part of time in their life path, in their Dharma, where things need to be flipped on their lid, so to speak, that we are being shielded from any kind of upheavals like that. Because of our magnetism, because of our good karma. And there is a magnetic increase happening to bring in positive change. Okay, so for many other people, this came out, I think, in the Earth Council's update for July as well, with the foreshadowing. So now a lot of what the foreshadowing was in July, I'm interested to see the Earth Council update. Oh no, their update was July and August, I think. But I'm interested to see now, because the message kind of was, you're going to see a lot happening around you to people who maybe it is their time to have some major upheaval in their life for a change to come in. And maybe at the same time, because they have maybe more negative karma than positive karma, you're going to see, a series of misfortunate events or whatever are happening around you. But this right eye of Horus coming up is like you're kind of shielded from that because of your very positive karma. And it's now time for you to be the one having the positive outcomes versus more negative outcomes. And so you're still guided to just release the attachment. It's just so much for free to just release attachment from outcomes. But what's happening now is you're very magnetic. Remember, I keep talking about measuring chakras. I can see where some people's chakra fields are just like loaded up with like magnetic energy to bring in what we want and what you want. So there's that. You're very magnetic right now, and new adventures await. So let's see what else we need to know. Oh, 2 more. Why do these 2 cards keep coming out? Is that 2? Yeah, 2. Oh my gosh. It's the same 2 cards. The Truth card and the Indian Blanket card came out exactly together again. We shuffled. Wow. Okay, let's see what comes out from the Vision Quest Tarot for these 2 cards that came out together again. What else? It's this one. Okay, so we got the Truth again and the Indian Blanket again. We don't really have to read into that, but what came out with it this time for the second part of August is card number 1, Medicine Man. I think that's the Magician in the Standard Tarot. In this case, it's the Divine Masculine with a buck, deer, and a peace pipe, and I cannot tell. I'm going to look at the book. I think it's a okay, you're what? It's a bird in the background. They're not having me say what kind of bird it is. Like they're blocking my mind. Okay, so let's just read what it, I think this goes back to the whole magnetism thing, but let's see. Card number 1, Medicine Man. Yeah, the Magician. Mystical forces, your male component, faith in nature's power, seeing far ahead, intuitive grasp of the truth, flowing energy, the ability and willingness to help, to experiment newly and create outwardly visible manifestations. Oh, so good. The message is the Medicine Man tells you that you already are what you seek. As soon as you turn your attention away from wanting to become to the awareness of what is, you get a taste of the meaning of this card. Once you focus on simply being and renounce the mind's addiction to complicate everything by thinking about it, a new understanding arises. In the immediacy of unfabricated simplicity, your greatest talents are revealed. You recognize what is true power and genuine creativity. Your growing awareness of the miraculousness of your existence gives you faith in the workings of the great mystery, and this faithfulness makes you capable of using the powers you once feared correctly. Gratefully accept the assistance that is offered to you now. I'm noticing in a juxtaposition to the beginning of August to the Lion's Gate, that up to the August 12th, it was all divine feminine energy. And when I look down at all these cards, it's all divine masculine. The Son of Water, the Medicine Man, and the Truth card guy. Okay, let's keep going. Let's just piece it all together here. Sometimes it takes all the cards out before I... The last card we got was Thistle. Preserve and protect our lands. Earth Guardians unite. This is our Bringers of the Light card. Bringers of the Light. Okay. So let me get... So what I'm going to do is I'm get this cards out, read that, and then they've got a channeled message for all of this for all of us. Okay, so what goes with Thistle? Okay. Wow, that's a lot of cards. The Five of Water. Okay, so the Five of Water is the Five of Cups. Loss. The Moon card. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. The last card we're going to draw is card number 7, the Spiritual Warrior. I told you can't make this up. All right. So we said Thistle, that card for me, the Thistle card, when I get Preserve Our Lands, Earth Guardians Unite, that's a Bringers of the Light card. That's a Bringers of the Light Call to Action card. That's a Get Up Spiritual Warrior, get to work, do some divine service work. We've got a lot of cups here. The Five of Water, Loss, the Moon card, and the Spiritual Warrior. Let's read this Five of Water, Loss, and then loss, disillusionment, meltdown, leaving the old, instability, pain, possible separation, torment caused by misinterpreting one's actual situation. I think we just talked about this. The veils of ignorance are being lifted. An illusion you have created and clung to now slowly dissolves as it must. Be brave. This is the beginning of an internal liberation. If you really don't want to, you don't have to suffer. This is nothing more than a helpful wake-up call. Welcome it. What is this? Yeah, this is the shielding of the what's going on around you thing. Taking the message deeper, it's like you're in a position to be someone else's strength right now with this Spiritual Warrior card. He is holding like a skull of like a, I don't know if that's buffalo. There's another bird I can't name. There's another bird in the background and mountains. And that horse has got all that war paint on. Yeah, with this moon card, it's time for you to it's time for you to shine. So, this all goes back to the, if you have not listened to the Earth Council update for July, I recommend you go back, and that is the whole channeling that basically is pretty much what these cards are talking about. But it's kind of, why am I holding up Pixie's book? I don't know why. Oh, because I'm kind of like, the changing of the guards keeps coming in. Because it's like, I don't know if Pixie does women's circles anymore. I just think she's so busy with a whole ranching life. So we've kind of lost, in a sense, one of our very gifted spiritual teachers to her Dharma, which is going on to do something else in her. Yes, big chills. Thank you. I'm like, am I on the right path with this? To going on to do something else in her Dharma. It's our turn now to step up. Some of us have been doing this spiritual work and all the spreading of these messages and bringers of the light work for quite some time now, and we've earned our stripes, or whatever it's called, earned our stripes and earned our war paint as a spiritual warrior by going through the trenches and experiencing all this stuff so that we could come out and teach and talk to everybody else that's going to be needing it right now. So I think there's big opportunities as you notice in the world around you, and if you're wanting to take your practice or your bringers to the light work, to a higher level, you're going to be given opportunities to do this, where you're either going to see collectively or see closer to you opportunities to step up into more of a leadership role. I think that you're going to see, you will be coming out of this, darkness and feeling like, things are on a downturn. You'll be going into the upturn, but you'll see people around you in the downturn. You'll see a bunch of souls going into the beginnings of their spiritual dark night of the soul. And you're the one now that's meant to guide and lead and teach and direct and share everything you've learned on your long dark night of the soul. Who knows how long it's been. It could be tens and tens and tens of years. I don't know how long it's been. I do remember, though, here I go, back in my day, when I first started in 2015, right after I left corporate, and I knew I wanted to do, I went to Pixies. I went on like a massive amount of remembrance training, where it's like I didn't really need the training and the certifications. I just needed to go be with the teachers and remember who I was. And I remember I went from Pixies, and then I went straight to Doreen Virtue's angel therapy training, a few months later that same year. I did a ton of different certifications and stuff, but that's not the point. The point is, what is the friggin' point? I got lost in my rememberings. I got lost with them. Oh, yes. I remember I thought, well, I'm ready to take on clients now. This was in 2015, kind of the latter part of the year. And I remember someone did come to me out of Athena's groups, because I was in a lot of Athena's groups. And someone said, oh, you were in Athena's groups, and I thought I would book an appointment with you, because I posted a lot. I've been posting a lot and doing a lot of this, putting myself out there for a long time. And I remember kind of being at a loss, because I was like, what am I going to talk to this person about? I can channel the cards and kind of channel their situation, but I had no personal. I like to share personal examples in storytelling as a way of bringing in the metaphors to help people kind of connect the dots. And I was like, I don't have any personal experiences to share with this person. Oh, well, lo and behold, be careful what you ask for. Because over the course of this 9 years now, oh, believe me, I've had more than enough of my share. I don't need in my dark night of the soul to share plenty and plenty and plenty with anybody that comes along that's going to be magnetized towards me. Sit down. You got an hour? You got 2 hours? I got plenty to share. Anyway, so it's going to be you now in whatever capacity you're comfortable with, whatever fits with your Dharma, whatever you feel called to next. You're being called up, spiritual warrior, as a bringer of the light. It's time for you to start spreading that knowledge, whether it be with roomfuls of people, a small, intimate, online, private group just for you and a few people. I'm ready. I want the larger, I can do the larger groups of roomfuls of people. I've done it before. I can do it, like bring me in, I don't know how many people, bring me in the giant rooms full of people. I already have like an agenda of like, what would I do if I had the giant rooms full of people? And what would we do? We would definitely have a concert at the very end, and we would have a band. I would definitely be singing. And we would have some people playing, and we would do some sort of like covers. I don't know what we do, but we would definitely have fun at the very end. I do remember Doreen, she did used to do that. We had like the angel therapy, and then the very end was like a dance party with like 80s music and stuff. All right. So, or it may just be you and another person. So, like me and my kid, or like somebody like you and your kid, or you and some people that are going to be drawn to you, and in whatever capacity, it's time for you to step up. I just saw 5005, 5005. Yeah, it's like the 50 and the 05. You're like the zeros in the middle, like holding on tight to source with the 00 and your guides and all that energy, all that stuff that you've learned. And the fives, which is shake up and change and upheaval, those zeros are like the cushion to the fives that you're going to see happening outside of you. All those tower moments that are going to be that you're going to start seeing in the collective that are happening in this month of August to shake things up. You're going to be protected from all of that because of your great karma and your dharma, in that you're supposed to be the one leading now, not the one having the dark night of the soul. And so the fives are going to be, that energy coming in to create shift and change and potential, different potentials and upheavals and dark nights of the soul and all that. And you're going to be safely in the zeros going, please show me how I can be of service to help people out at this time. It's really going to be a very important task at hand. And so your dharma could be shifting now to where you take on higher levels of responsibility as a bringer of the light. Maybe you're a bringer of the light with a very small, group or whatever, and you're like, oh, Spirit's like, oh, you're ready for much more than that now, little soul. Let's get moving. And so those opportunities are going to show themselves to you in this mid-August to late August time frame. So this now, which now in the Lion's Gate is this divine feminine time of preparation, of welcoming in this changing of the guard, just seeing what does that mean for you. I would highly suggest doing some sort of elder council journey or vision quest type of a journey to see like what's coming in from you. You said the veils are lifting. Spirit told us with this moon card, the veils are lifting. We're going to start to be able to see what's next for us. So is that available now to folks? They're saying if you do that now, all will be shown to you. If you do a vision quest or a journey and you say, what's next for me? What's coming? How can I prepare and be ready to hit the ground mid-August when apparently all sorts of stuff's going to be all crazy? They will show that to you now so that you have time to prepare and get ready for whatever that means for you. Upping your game. They're saying it's called upping your game. So anything else we want to share? All right. So they don't have anything else to share. So that means I can stop talking too. I probably could have keep on talking. But anyway, I want to thank all of you so much for joining me here. Use the resources on the channel at TLC for the Soul for help, for inspiration, for motivation. Remember, I keep saying, use the channel as like an oracle deck or whatever. Close your eyes, ask Spirit what you most need to know. We have vision quests, shamanic journeys in the channel. We have all sorts of stuff. Put your finger down. Trust that that's the guidance that you most need in this now. I don't know, use the books the same way. All my ebooks are free to read. Use the books in the same way. Go get an ebook that calls to you. Scroll through the page, put your finger down. You're going to get the message you need. If you're interested in our card decks, all of our card decks are out there at the Game Crafter. They're not free to read, but they are out there for you to take a look at. If you like the look of Shaman Strum, it's out there as well. And I think that is all we have to share. So thank you all so much for spending almost an hour with me. But this month of August is a very important turning point. And we want to give you like the honest picture of what's, not the honest, but we always give the honest picture, but we want to give you like the true to life picture of what's really happening or what's going to be happening within and around you, so that you're aware, so that you don't get frightened or freaked out, or so that you stay high vibe, and that you stay in a level of integrity that's like, just show me how I can be of service, show me what I can do to help, and then balancing that out with, taking really good care of yourself. So I don't know what we're going to come back with next here on the channel, but whatever it is, I'm sure it's what we'll most need in this now. And until then, friends, thank you so much for joining me here. Take care. This episode was brought to you by the Elemental Dragon Councils of the Light. Whether you favor fire, water, earth, or air, these scaled, winged, ferocious, beautiful, magical friends are here to help you to ground, persevere, overcome, and find the magic in your life. Take care. We'll see you again soon.